So normally, we should be able to control our mind on the in-breath and out-breath by counting for half an hour to 1 hour. Then we stop counting and just try to be aware of the in-breath and out-breath without counting. So again, if we can constantly concentrate on the in-breath and out-breath continuously for half an hour and more, then only we go to the second step. But now, as we don't have much time, and we are meditating just one time a day, so if you can concentrate very well on the in-breath and out-breath, then you can go to the second step. So the second step is just like the first step, trying to be aware of the in-breath and out-breath just as your first step, but only to take note, occasionally, not all the time. So whether the length of the breath is short or long. So we say if you are breathing first, just note that the breath is short. If you are breathing slowly, just take the breath to be long. So that is the second step. So try to be aware of the in-breath, the out-breath, in-breath and out-breath. And while you are trying to be aware of the in-breath and out-breath, so also take note whether it is long or short. That is the second breath, the second step. So again, if you can be aware of the in-breath and the out-breath, together with the length of the breath for half an hour or more, then we say you can go to the third step. So on page 153, in the middle, we describe the third step, awareness of the whole breath. So the Buddha instructs like this. So, I shall breathe in to know clearly the beginning, the middle, and the end of the whole in-breath. I shall breathe out to know clearly the beginning, the middle, and the end of the whole out-breath. So when he says like that, we explain in the second last paragraph. So we say there why he does so. That is when he is trying to be aware of the whole breath. He should not try to note thus. This is the beginning. This is the middle. This is the end. Neither should he label beginning, middle, end. If he tries to do so, he may jeopardize. Jeopardize means upset or disturb his concentration. If he cannot meditate without labeling, then he should just label it as in-breath, out-breath, in-breath, out-breath. So the third step is to be aware of the whole in-breath and the whole out-breath. What we doing is the same as the first step. So in the first step, we say just to be aware of the in-breath and the out-breath. But now we increase our mindfulness so that we can be aware of the whole in-breath and the whole out-breath. So the whole in-breath, the whole out-breath means when you breathe in, this is the touching point. So from this beginning of the in-breath, so as the in-breath goes in, so that means all the breath touches through the touching point. So just by watching there, you can be aware of the breath from the beginning, the middle, and the end. So you have to know the whole in-breath. So it does not mean that, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. Not like that. No, we have just tried to note the whole in-breath, how it is know it, why it is flowing in. Try to be aware of this in-breath all the time. And when you breathe out again, so from that starting point, try to be aware of the whole out-breath. So that is the third step. On page 154, the first paragraph there, so we can read together. He should not follow the in-breath that goes into the body, or the out-breath that goes out of the body. He should not take the breath that touches the nostrils as the beginning, the breath that reaches the chest as the middle, and then which arrives at the navel as the end when he breathes in. So some teacher, they even teaches that when you are trying to be aware of the in-breath and out-breath, so they say when the breath now goes into the nostril, take it to be the beginning. When it arrives at the chest, take it as the middle. Then when it arrives the navel, take it as the end. So when you breathe out, she say that the breath at the navel is the beginning, and at the chest is the middle, and at the nostril is the end. Don't do like that. No, if you do like that, what happens? So you are following the breath in and out, and actually, you can see the going in just around here. Like it comes to the chest, you don't know actually. That it comes to the belly, you don't know actually. You don't see the breath. No. So in that way also you are moving your mind. You are moving your mind from here, there, and from here and there. So your mind is not at one point. So we say it was very difficult to develop concentration. That means one-pointedness of the mind. No? And usually if you do that, as you are not concentrating in one place, that means your mind is wandering. Your mind is wandering. So you will never get the meditation sign, and you cannot develop the jhana if you do that. So don't follow like that. Okay. So in the middle of that page, we give the topic, the comparison with a gatekeeper and a sawyer. Again, we read together the two paragraphs. The meditator should know the simile. No, we don't call the simile. It's a pronoun simile. Simile means the example. The example of a gatekeeper. A gatekeeper does not examine people inside and outside the town, for they are not his concern. But he does examine each man as he arrives at the gate. Similarly, the meditator pays no attention to the ingoing breath that has gone inside the nose and to the outgoing breath that has gone outside the nose, because they are not his concern. But they are his concern each time they arrive at the nostril gate. So quite a good example. Like in the some city, they have like in the ancient time, like the royal capital, not the capital of the king. So they always have gatekeeper. So gatekeeper just should stay at the gate, and he should examine the people who arrive at the gate, and he does not take notice of the people who are coming to the gate, who are approaching. And after examining them, they pass the gate, and he doesn't take notice of these people anymore. So when the people comes out, he examines them only at the gate. So after passing that, it's not his concern to examine them. So the same thing, we wait at the nostril gate. Nostril gate means the touching point, either at the nostril or at the upper lip. So that touching point is our gate. So we just wait there. So when the in-breath comes to the gate, that's so that we have to examine it. That means we have to take note of it. So just waiting at that nostril gate. So here now, we say this is the touching point, and this is your breath. So from this, the beginning of this breath, now it is touching all through until the end of the breath. So we watch this breath, only this touching point. By watching at this touching point, you know the beginning, as the beginning also passes through it. You also know the middle of the breath, and you also know the end of the breath. And the same thing, when you breathe out, so just you watch here the out breath. So this is the beginning of the out breath, and then the middle of the out breath, and the end of the out breath. And you see every part of the end breath. So then the out breath. So that is the way. Just by watching at the touching point. Try to be aware of the in breath from the beginning to the end. So it is touched there. So try to be aware of the whole in breath. Fix your attention on the breath. So that means you have to press with your attention. So if you lightly just try to take it lightly, then your mind will wander away very soon. So if you keep it fixed on the in breath, it will not wander away. So by the gentle touch, you know the whole in breath and the whole out breath. So that's the way we should do. Now the next paragraph. He should also act like a sawyer in the simile of the saw. So now you imagine here, this is a log. A log placed like on the ground. Now a man is cutting this log with a saw. When he cuts the log with the saw, where does he concentrate his attention? Does he following the saw? The forward, backward, forward, backward. Does he follow? No, he doesn't follow. No, he just concentrate on the teeth at the point where the tooth of the saw touches the log. So from here the beginning of the saw. So by just watching there, now he can see the front teeth of the saw one after another, and also the middle part of the teeth going one after another, and then also the later part of the teeth. So all the teeth of the saw he could see. When he draw his back again, so he can see the one tooth after another cutting the log. So you could see all the tooth just by watching at one point. And you also know that the saw is moving forward and the saw is moving backward. And he also knows whether it moves to a short distance or it moves to a long distance. He also knows. So in the same way, when in this meditation, so again you focus your attention only at the touching point. So you focus your attention there and try to be aware of the in-breath. The in-breath. So from the beginning, so the in-breath brushes in, so up to the end. And then the out-breath again brushes up to the end. So you know the in-breath and out-breath, and also the in-breath is long or short. So if you are breathing first, so the time that takes for the breath to pass that touching point is short. So if you are doing like that, so you know it is the breath is short. So when the breath touches that point, touching point for a long time. So for a long time, that means the breath is long. So by watching the whole breath at the touching point, we know the beginning, the middle, and the end of the in breath as well as the out breath, and we also know whether the breath is short or long. Now, when you are watching the in-breath and the out-breath, if you can watch the in-breath and out-breath without labeling, it is all right. You can just watch the in-breath and out-breath But if you want to label, you can label just in-breath, out-breath, in-breath, out-breath. Just label that. So if you need not label, so it is better actually. No? Because for labeling, we have to pay attention to the labeling. So what we have to do is just to be aware of the in-breath and the out-breath. And again, if you find the mind to be wandering or restless, you can use the counting method again. No? Just try to count. No? For the in-breath, out-breath, you count 1. In-breath, out-breath, you count 2. So when you can concentrate quite well now, just stop counting. Just try to be aware of the in-breath and out-breath. So try to be able to focus on the whole in-breath and the whole out-breath, for 1 hour or more at every sitting. Then you are doing the third step correctly and successfully, and it is actually the most important step in this mindfulness of breathing. Now on page 155, we read the second paragraph. When the meditator can calmly and mindfully focus his mind on the beginning, the middle, and the end of the in-breath and out-breath, that means the whole in-breath and the whole out-breath, for 1 hour or more at every sitting. So the meditation sign, namitta, may appear. We say may appear. Usually it does not appear yet. For most of us it does not appear yet. Now only the light, as I told you yesterday, when you can concentrate for 1 hour and more at every sitting, so the light will come out. The light will come out. So that light is, we call the wisdom light. The light that comes out from the mind. From the mind means from the wisdom of the mind. And the mind should be concentrated. Only when it becomes concentrated, so the light will come out. So this light will become brighter and brighter as your concentration increases. So this third step, you have to just keep on doing the third step. You have to keep on going. So if you can concentrate well, then you will see that your breathing will become gentle, 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 and finally it disappears. So if it disappears, you come to the fourth step. So it must disappear by itself. So it must become gentle, gentle, gentle. Gentle, gentle, because while you are meditating, our body mechanism slows down. So as it slows down, we need less oxygen. So we need less air. So when we need less air, our breathing would be so gentle, very gentle. So just going a little out. So you have to concentrate more to know the in-breath and out-breath. So it becomes gentle, gentle, and finally it will disappear. So when we say that, don't purposely make your breath to be gentle. Then you don't have enough oxygen, you will gasp. So that is the third step now. So if you have questions with regard to this meditation, now you can ask. Now you should not ask about other people's meditation, because there are various types of meditation. So teaching by the teacher's method. So you should judge if the meditation is not according to this Visuddhimagga, as we are explaining to you now. So you know it is not the Buddha's method. So if it is not the Buddha's method, should you follow it? It's up to you. If you can follow, you can follow. And one thing we say, if we divert from the Buddha's method, we don't get the result as taught by the Buddha, that is development of the fourth jhana in this meditation. So if you follow this, so you will advance. Gradually you will advance. And you also know your advance, to what state you have advanced. The first step, second step, or third step or fourth step, you know. And then you will get the jhana.
When our concentration stronger and stronger, then should we hear any sound from outside? If there is sound from outside, we can hear or not? And apa yang pertanyaan kedua? We should go on to concentrate on the breath or notice other thing if we hear sound.
So while you are meditating, when you gain concentration, your awareness is all become better. No? So the light sound that you don't hear before, you may hear now. And the small pain in the body that you don't know before, you may know it now. No? But we say just neglect them. Don't pay attention to them. No? If you pay attention to this sound or to this the pain in the body, no, you stop anapanasati. You don't do anapanasati anymore. You're just trying to listen the outside sound there. No, don't listen. No, so whether you hear the sound or the pain anymore, just neglect them. Or just concentrate on the in-breath and out-breath. Try to be aware of the in-breath and out-breath all the time. Only when you reach the jhana, then you will not hear any sound. And you will not know any pain. Because your mind at the jhana state is concentrated or fixed only on the counter sign. So you know only the counter sign at that time. No? Any more questions?
There's two questions. First question is when we undertake anapanasati with one point, noticing the point in and out, does the point actually become sort of unnoticed? That means I cannot notice, or I rather say the distinct point actually changed to the other nostril. So which one should I follow? That was the first question. Then the second question is, I've heard before that if we take meditation, we can actually reduce our sleeping hour to 2 hours, and we can even be more alert than if we were to sleep 8 hours. So is that true? And if so, how do I do it? Because I keep falling asleep. Thank you.
So what did she say? Now the first question. So what your first question, you say the touching point changes. So you mean the first touching point disappear? You don't know pain anymore. Well, if you're focusing on one point, so when the touch at that point is no longer distinct, and now you see the touch in another point, another nostril become distinct. You can change just on that. But usually it should be, when you focus at one point, it becomes more and more distinct. The more and more distinct, it doesn't appear. No? So even if at first when you are breathing, like the touching point at the tip of the nose is not distinct. But if you focus there, it will become distinct. So if you focus on that point, and usually it should become more and more distinct. So that means you don't need to change the point. For the whole 1 hour, you just focus at the one point. As you said, if disappear, then you take another point. You can go.
The question is, I've heard before that if we meditate, we can reduce our sleeping hour and even be more alert, more awake. It says usually we sleep 6 to 8 hours, But now you say after you meditate, and if you can do it, meditating for 2 hours a day is enough, and you feel more awake than sleeping 6 to 8 hours. Is that true? And how to do it? Because I keep falling asleep.
You're not very clear. What you say is, so you say when we normally we sleep from 6 to 8 hours. So when we do the meditation, like in the meditation center, then we usually sleep less. We sleep less. So that means that the less we sleep and paying more attention to meditation, then meditating for longer time. So that means you can progress easily. But don't try to sleep very little. Don't do that. No, your health is very important. No, so if your health deteriorates, you cannot meditate well. No, so it doesn't matter. Not sleeping for 6 hours. It's all right. 6 hours, so you maintain good health. So only when you meditate, try to concentrate very well. So you can go up. So when we meditate in a meditation center, we usually observe 8 or 9 precepts. So by observing 8 or 9 precepts, that means we abstain from all sense pleasure. Not just like watching the television, listening to the song, beautifying yourself, and eating in the evening. So that means we abstain eating afternoon time, till dawn the next day. We don't take any food. So if you feel hungry, so you are allowed not to take the fruit juice, or like in the hot water. So what we usually do is, not like in our country we have cane sugar, palm sugar. Not palm sugar, so we just put it in hot water to make it a drink, a sweet drink, then we drink it. So if you don't have palm sugar, you can use even sugar. You can drink it there. You can drink honey, for example. And we also used to have the chitu madu, they call. I don't know whether you have here or not. No? So it is actually that they make it from the jaggery. The jaggery is the cane sugar, the cane sugar, and honey, and then also butter and the sesame oil. So 4 of them, you just heat them together until they become, thoroughly mixed. So we call it chituk madu. It is allowed by the Buddha to take it.
What is cane sugar? Cane sugar?
Any more question?
When our mind more concentrate, then the breath becomes subtler and subtler. In order to, we can notice the breath. Should we make it closer or not?
Not.
Because she thinks that his breath, her breath will disappear, so she afraid that he doesn't breathe anymore. So he make it closer again.
So there can be 2 things. Now, if your mind is wandering, you don't know the breath also. You don't know the touching point, and you think the breath disappear also. And another thing, as we say in the just now, when you are aware in the whole in-breath and the whole out-breath, then automatically it becomes gentle, more gentle, and finally it disappears. So in that case, it's correct. It is correct. So it becomes very gentle, you have to increase your mindfulness and your wisdom to know the in-breath and the out-breath. So they say in this meditation on anapanasati, mindfulness and wisdom are very essential, very essential. So though you increase your mindfulness and wisdom, and it becomes very gentle, and finally it disappears. So we say you are right at the fourth stage. So you are very well advanced if you get there. No? So when it disappears, what we do is we just fix our mind at the touching point. Just keep your mind at the touching point. So when it becomes gentle, don't try to make it the more distinct, breathing hard, in other words. So if you do that, you disturb your meditation. So it should be natural.
If we are preaching, it's possible for the first time we meditate, the touching point at the right side of the nostril. But in another day, maybe in another day, he meditate. It's possible the touching point change to the right side, from the left side to another side. The first one. And the second one, if we breathing long and short, we not the memperhatikan.
Label.
Yeah, the breath long or short. We set it with we make a label to the breathing or not. If we know the breath is from the starting, middle, and the end, can we set it? Will make a label true or not? The three questions.
So they are already answered. All the three already answered, actually. Just like the first lady say, when you have the touching point, so say on the right side, you are meditating on that and disappear. Then you note the touching point on the left hand, on the left nostril. So as you say now, can we change to that? As you don't know the touching point in another place, only in the left, in the new place, then you have to focus on there. So you have to focus the in-breath and the out-breath at that touching point. So if you can concentrate well, usually the touching point does not change. So it changes, so you have to use the new touching place. And then the second thing she said is, should we label the in-breath, out-breath as beginning? And again in the second step, we say just take note whether the in-breath, out-breath is long or short. Don't label. I just told you yesterday, you don't label. In-breath long, out-breath long, in-breath short, out-breath short. Don't label. Just try to be aware of the in-breath and the out-breath. And you label only the in-breath, out-breath if you want to. In-breath, out-breath, you can label mentally. But for the length of breath, you just take note. Only take note while you are breathing. So if you are breathing first, just take note it is short. When you are breathing long, just take note it is long. That is the second question. And the third question, so if you don't label, it's all right. So when we say label, you are labeling, oh, this is the beginning, this is the middle, this is the end. So don't label like that. Just try to be aware of the whole in-breath, from the beginning to the middle and to the end. And then try to be aware of the whole out-breath. So some people, they can aware only the beginning, and they cannot aware the middle and the end. That is not good. And some can be aware only the middle. They don't know aware of the beginning and the end. That is not good also. And some can be aware only the end. They cannot be aware the beginning and the middle. So that is not good also. So when you can be mindful very well, you will know the whole in-breath, the whole out-breath. Just calmly try to be aware of the whole in-breath, the whole out-breath. And to the first question, so when he said, when we hear the sound, the loud sound, should we pay attention to it? We say you don't pay attention. And also one thing is, sometimes you have the noises. Maybe like when there's some building going on there, they will be striking, dong, 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 dong. So maybe some music, the playing in the near house coming to you. So though you hear them, if you just focus on your meditation, when you can focus very well, then you don't pay attention to this noise and don't feel that they are bothering you. If you feel that they are bothering you, disturbing you, it is dosa mula cheja. So you have to take just as it is, but don't pay attention. And you will find that you don't hear anymore. When you can concentrate very well, you don't hear the sound anymore. So if you have questions on Abhidhamma, so Anthony is willing to answer your question. So if you don't have any question, you can go back to your place and meditate. You have time to meditate for half an hour to 1 hour. So in your place, if everybody is meditating, it's good. So at home, we should make the practice. So before we go to bed, so when even our other family members already went to bed, so it's very nice for you to meditate. Sit on your bed, then meditate. Even half an hour or 1 hour is very good. Then when you go to sleep, don't think about this and that, this and that. So if you are just thinking like that, it is just actually a wasting of time. And actually when we are thinking like that, we cannot sleep. We don't fall asleep. So the best thing is when you lie down to sleep, so try to be aware of your in-breath and out-breath. So we can also do this meditation lying, by lying position. So try to be aware of the in-breath and the out-breath. So if you can concentrate very well on the in-breath, out-breath, then you find that not very long you will fall asleep, and you can sleep very well, very well. So in the morning when you wake up, a little early, you don't want to get up yet. So we say just try to recite Araham, 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 and then share with loving kindness. May all living beings be happy and well. So we should try to do meditation all the time. Not even walking. We should just reflect Araham, Araham, or may all living beings be happy and well. So if we can do it, so every second is worth more than $8 billion. So we just get good karma, by billion. So if we accumulate a lot of good karma, then we can live happily for many existences, without being born in the woeful state. So please try. We shall go to page 106. So the topic is Aramana Sangaha. So the Pali words are Lambhana and Aramana mean sense object. So here Chaitanya the Seeker will be compiled briefly according to the 6 sense objects. Now the 6 sense objects. Number 1, Rupa Ramana, visible object. So the essential materiality that represent visible object is Rupa or Vana. I think we just take Vana. Now Vana means visible object. Saddha Ramana is the sound, and again the essential materiality is Saddha. Gandha Ramana is the smell, and the essential materiality is Gandha. Rasa Ramana is the taste, so the essential element is Rasa. Puttaba Ramana is tangible object or the touch. So Pathavi, Vayo, Tejo represent tangible object. And up to now, we have the 5 common sense objects that are known to most people. And in these 5 sense objects, if we take the sensual materiality, so it amounts to 7. They are, so that you just look at the bracket ones, Vana, Saddha, Gandha, Rasa, Pathavi, Vayo, and Tejo. Number 6 is Dhamma Ramana, the mind object. So this object is very subtle. They cannot be seen, they cannot be touched, so usually not known to the people. So there are 6 kinds of this mind object. The first group is 5 pasada rupa. So we have seen yesterday the 5 pasada rupas. They are clear materialities in the eye, in the ear, in the nose, in the tongue, in the body. And they represent the eye door, the ear door, the nose door, the body door. Now these 5 pasada rupas and the 7 materialities that represent the above 5 sense objects. So if you add those 7 and this 5, you get 12 types of materiality. And these 12 types of materiality are called gross materiality. You should take note that in the 6 sense objects, they contain all materialities. That means 28 types of materialities. And they also contain all the 89 chetas, 52 chetasikas, and even Nibbana and concepts. So that means the Buddha knows everything in the universe. Like in the case of science, they know only materiality. They don't know the Chaita, the Chetasikas, Nibbana and concept. No science instruments to detect these things. So when they say atoms are made up of electrons and protons and neutrons, they don't see. Those atom, electron, proton, neutron, they don't see. Even microscope, you cannot see them. Just, it is hypothesis. So from the evidence of experiments, they just make the hypothesis. So atoms are made up of electron, proton, neutron. So in the case of Buddhism, we can see all these Chaita, Cetasika, and Nibbana even by the mind, the wisdom mind. So that means the mind is the most powerful, much, much powerful than the all science equipment. We go to the next topic, consciousnesses and sense objects according to sense doors. Number 1, the 46 chetas that arise in connection with the eye door are known as Chakku Dwarika Cheta, the cheta that arise with connection of the sense door. So on page 104, we learned yesterday, at the bottom of page 104, that 46 chetas arise in the eye door. When the sense object appear in the eye door, so altogether 46 chetas can arise in order to cognize or to know the sense object. So these 46 chetas that arise in connection with the eye door is known as Chakku Dwarika Cheta, and they are aware of only the present visible object. Now we continue. So in a similar way, the 46 cheta that arise in connection with the ear door are known as Sota Dwarika chetas, and they are aware of only the present sound. Number 3, 46 cheta that arise in connection with the nose door are known as Ghana Dwarika chetas, and they are aware of only the present smell. Number 4, the 46 chaita that arise in connection with the tongue door are known as Jiva Dwarika. Jiva Dwara means the tongue door. Jiva Dwarika chaita, the chaita that arise in the tongue door. So they are aware of only present taste. And 46 chaita that arise in connection with the body door are known as Kaya Dwarika chaita. Again, you know, Kaya Dwara is the body door. So Kaya Dwarika chaita means the chaita that arise in the body door. They are aware of only the present tangible object. Yes. So we go to number 6. The 67 chaitas that arise at the mind door are known as Manodwarika chaitas. No? Now on page 105. No, yesterday, so we enumerate the chaita that arise at the mind door. So in number 6 on page 105, you can see there 67 chaitas arise in the mind door. So these chaitas are known as the Manodwarika chaita. Manodwara is the mind door. So Manodwarika chaita means the chaita that arise in the mind door. Now these chaita are aware of all the 6 sense objects. So amazing. And then more amazing. So these sense objects may be the present sense object or the past sense objects, the future sense objects, or independent of time. So we say Nibbana. Nibbana and concepts are independent of time. Because Nibbana always exists. Always exists. It does not depend on time. So there is no such thing as the past Nibbana, the present Nibbana, the future Nibbana. Only one Nibbana. The same thing, the concept, they do not really exist. So they are also independent of time, we say. Now, how can we say the past sense objects? You might ask. So, not like some the meditation teachers. When they heard that, in Pauk Meditation Center, we have also to see the past mentality, materiality. So they would say, how can we say we can see the past? The past already dissolve and disappear. How can we see them? No. So they try to refer to one statement of the Buddha in one sutta, that we should be concentrate our mind only on the present. Live in the present. So don't think of the past and don't think of the future. In that case, you live very beneficially and very happily. So they just not take that sutta. That sutta is not for meditation actually, just for living in the present. So in many sutta, the Buddha said you have to see the past and the future. And also in Visuddhimagga, it's just right. You have to see the past and the future. If you don't see the past, you don't know your past existences, and you don't know the mentality, materiality that arise in those existences, and you don't know the connection, the relation between the past and the present existence. The same thing, you don't know the future. You cannot correlate the present mentality, materiality with the future mentality, materiality, according to the causal relations of dependent origination. So in Visuddhimagga it states clearly, unless you can discern these causal relations of dependent or the origination, correlating the past with the present with the future, you will never get enlightened. Definitely, that's correct. If you don't see, you don't know that, you don't know really what is suffering and what is the cause of suffering. So all the causes in the dependent origination are the cause of suffering. And all the effects that's described in causal relation of dependent origination are suffering. So if you don't know that, you don't see the Four Noble Truths. If you don't see, you don't understand the Four Noble Truths. So you never get Magga and Phala. No? So we have to see the past. And we can see the past. No? Now here we say you can see the past. So, no, so you have seen the Sriragong Buddha here. So if you come to Myanmar, no, you will see more the grander Sriragong, more splendid Sriragong in Myanmar. No? So once you have seen it, now you close your eye, you can see it. You can always recall. No? So after seeing the movie, you go to bed, but before you go to sleep, you still rewatch the movie. How can you see it? How can you see those movies are not just the past one? No? Because as I said, when we see like Sriragong or the movie, all what we have seen are recorded. The data already transmitted in our mind. We are recalling that data by mindfulness so that we can see them again. And when you attain like the fourth jhana, then when you recall the past, you can see clearly. Like if you recall Sriragong, as if Sriragong is in front of you now. So if you try to recall, say your teacher, as if he is in front of you. So that means we can see the past. And also we can see the future. Just like we say in the Pauk Meditation Center, you can see your future existence. You can see your future existence. In the case of the Buddha, they possess supernormal power. So we call the knowledge to see the future. We call it anagatamsa, jnana, anagatamsa, jnana. The wisdom to see the future. They can see the future unlimitedly. When our Bodhisattva, as Sumedha ascetic, so he was lying prostrate in front of Dibingra Buddha, offering 5 lotus flowers. Then he made a wish to attain the Sabbayutta Jnana, omniscient village, that is knowledge, that is to become a Buddha. Then Dibingra Buddha tried to reflect. Can he become a Buddha? Will he really become a Buddha? So he tried to see in this world, can he become? No. In the next world, no. In the next world, no. So he can go to the future up to 4 asankheya and 100,000 war cycles. From now, from that time. Then you become a Buddha. A Buddha by the name of Gautama Buddha. So your parents are King Sudarsana and Queen Mahamaya Devi. And then your chief disciples are the Venerable Sariputta and Venerable Mahamoggallana. He could know in detail. That is the future, unlimited. So science cannot compete with this. You say science can never compete, not the power of the mind. The mind is very, very powerful. So, like we can also see Nibbana, that is sense object independent of time. So very amazing. Okay.